So as I was saying, the city is almost too surreal. It's like something completely dreamed up by James Cameron. It has also been described by the Times Online as being one of Europe's most romantic cities. This is probably due to the gondolas. The gondola is a traditional flat-bottomed Venetian rowing boat made using 8 different types of wood composed of 280 pieces. The left side of the gondola is made longer than the right side, which resists the tendency to turn left at the forward stroke. And I also heard you have to be born in Venice to be a gondolier.
Now you really feel like you're in Venice, right?
So we're trying to find St. Marco's Square, which is the main square in Venice.
Is it, excuse me, St. Marco Square?
You've got to turn right at
Turn-
the end of the
Turn to... Oh, okay, thank you.
Navigating through Venice is like finding a needle in a haystack, and sometimes I get the feeling we're gonna get jumped by the next store owner who has to hear, "Can you tell me how to get to St. Marco's Square?" instead of buying something, but everything is crazy expensive. Good thing they're not charging for directions. My brother Andrew was telling me one funny thing about Venice. He said that as you walk, you'll find people staring at you.
Okay.
He soon came to realize that they're staring at you because, like you, they're trying to find the same places
Okay,
as
this
you,
is
but no one
sign
has
out.
the balls to ask or admit that they're lost. See these people here? They're probably trying to find St. Marco's Square as well. Venice historically was the capital of an independent city-state, also known as the La Dominati Serenissima, Queen of the Adriatic, City of Water, City of Mass, City of Bridges, the Floating City, and the City of Canals. Luigi Barzini of the New York Times says it's undoubtedly the most beautiful city ever built by man.
Chrissy, anything else to say?
Yes, actually. The city stretches across 117 small islands in the marshy Venetian lagoon along the Adriatic Sea in the northwest Italy. The saltwater lagoon stretches along the shoreline between the mouths of the Po and the Piave rivers. The population is estimated at 272,000 inhabitants, which includes the population of the whole commune of Venezia, around 60,000. In the historic city of Venezia, 176,000, and 31,000 live on the other islands in the lagoon.
Okay, anything else to say? There's a water everywhere.
Yes, brilliant observation, Goga. Thanks for that. But aside from water, there are a lot of mass. The Carnival of Venice, an annual festival which starts around 2 weeks before Ash Wednesday and ends the day before Ash Wednesday. Carnival started as a time for celebration and expression throughout the classes, as wearing masks hid any form of identity between social classes. During the 1970s, the Italian government decided to bring back the history and culture of Venice, and today, approximately 30,000 visitors come to Venice each day for carnivals. Andrew also told me that in order to get to St. Marco's Square, we need to simply follow the signs on the buildings. Sounds easy enough. However, there are so many side alleys, shops, and distractions you're easily taken off the beaten path, which has
Okay.
taken us a bit longer, I think.
Impression?
Awesome. We're still trying to find this St. Marco's Square. I think we followed about 12 arrows. Look, there's another one there.
Do you want to tell a story in a train?
Nah, I already told it.
That's not San Marco there. Oh, okay. So carry on.
This city is truly fascinating. Boats for buses, boats for taxis. Not a single car in sight.
What do you think, Gogo?
Huh?
You think you'll be able to find our way back to the train station?
I don't know. See, I guess it's gonna be just walk back and that's it. We are done. But I would love to have a coffee before we leave. Oh, there we are. Here we are. I recognize it. St. Marco Square. It's right there.
I don't know. By the time we find St. Marco Square, it'll be time to head back. You need more than a day here, at least 2 or 3.
Still looking for St. Marco Square?
Yep.
The buildings of Venice are constructed on closely spaced wood piles, which were imported from the mainland. Underwater, in the absence of oxygen, wood doesn't decay. It's petrified as a result of the constant flow of mineral-rich water around and through it so that it becomes a stone-like structure. Some even say it's sinking.
What did you say? Chris, what is this?
I don't know. But I recognize it from the video game.
Yes, my favorite PS3 game, Assassin's Creed, part of which takes place in Venice, and after playing for several hours, it's almost like deja vu. So according to the game, this church is San Giacomo di Rialto, located in San Paolo. It's believed to be the oldest church in Venice, and was supposedly consecrated in the year 421. It is notable for the large 15th century clock above the entrance. And just like the game, around the corner is Rialto Bridge. The Rialto Bridge is one of the 4 bridges spanning the Grand Canal. This bridge is the oldest bridge. The development and importance of the Rialto market on the eastern bank increased traffic on the floating bridge, so it was replaced in 1255 by a wooden bridge. The present stone bridge, a single span designed by Antonio di Ponte, was finally completed in 1591. It is remarkably similar to the wooden bridge it succeeded. 2 inclined ramps lead up to a central portico. On either side of the portico, the covered ramps carry rows of shops. The engineering of the bridge is considered so audacious that the architect Vincenzo Scamozzi predicted future ruin. The bridge has defied its critics to become one of the architectural icons of Venice, not to mention it has a nice view. Alright, so the bad thing about living on water is that the city is still threatened by more frequent low-level floods called aqua alta, high water. This creeps up to a height of several centimeters over its quays after certain tides. In many old houses, the former staircases used by people to unload goods are now flooded, rendering the former ground floor uninhabitable. Some recent studies have suggested that the city is no longer sinking, but it's not for sure, so they're still in a state of alert. So enter inflatable gates. The idea is to lay a series of 79 inflatable pontoons across the seabed at the 3 entrances to the lagoon. When the tides are predicted to rise above 110 centimeters, the pontoons will be filled with air and block the incoming water from the Adriatic Sea. Okay, so the cool thing about living on water is the islands on which the city is built are connected by 409 bridges. In the old center, the canals serve the function of roads, and almost every form of transport is on water or on foot. Venice is Europe's largest urban, car-free area, unique in Europe in remaining a sizable, functioning city in the 21st century entirely without cars or trucks. Shit, I think we found it. Walk through this archway under St. Mark's Clocktower, which dates back to the last decade of the 15th century. The mechanism of the clock has been altered. but it was a place where the clock would be visible from the waters of the lagoon so everyone can notice the wealth and glory of Venice.
I wanna
St. Marco's Square, finally. St. Mark's Square is the principal square of Venice. St. Mark's Basilica is the most famous of the city's churches and one of the best known examples of Byzantine architecture. The first St. Mark's was a temporary building in the Doge's palace, constructed in 828. The Venetian merchants stole the supposed relics of Mark the Evangelist from Alexandria. This was replaced by a new church on its present site in 832. The new church was burned in a rebellion in 976, rebuilt in 978, and again to form the basis of the present basilica since 1063. The basilica was consecrated in 1094. The Basilica of San Marco dominates the piazza at its eastern end, and San Marco's Campanile standing free facing it. This is Venice's tallest building, 323 feet tall, and built in 912. The purpose? Bell tower, lookout, and lighthouse. It's one of the most recognizable symbols